It's 10 a.m. What is wrong with you people? I know everyone's like, we've been here for 2 hours. Cry me a river, Tatum. So how's everyone doing this morning? Awesome. I am not a morning person at all. So if I seem a little slower, a little less sure on my feet, a little less humorous, and a little edgy, I don't think anything's going to be different. So welcome. This is J. Michael Tatum Q&A. You provide Q, I provide A. If you don't know what that stands for, ask the person next to you. They'll probably know. If not, you ask the person next to you. All the way down until those of you in the center of the room, I hope, know what that means. It means question and answer. Pass it on. Which is cool. So it's very informal. I'm just going to sit here and chat. I may sit down, I may stand up and pace back and forth here. I don't know why. I just, nervous energy. There's a lot of you. There's a lot of you. I feel so much pressure to perform. I'm so kidding. Someone's like, oh, he's really nervous. You guys are so, you're so worried about me. I love that. So I do have a couple of rules I'd like to lay down before we get started with the Q&A. First of all, it is informal, so rather than make you like line up in front of a mic, you just raise your hand and I'll pick on you at random. Really, I swear to God, it is random, so if any of you have your hands up throughout and I never pick on you, please don't take it personally. I love you all the same. I just didn't want to answer your stupid questions. So, I also am a little snarky, so please understand, I just pick on you because I love you. Feel free to pick on me too, as long as we keep it relatively family friendly. How many of you were here last night at the Please forget everything. So yeah, a couple of rules, beyond that is anything is open. I will answer just about anything as long as we keep it family friendly. Please don't ask me terribly personal things. But a couple of guidelines to help you ask questions. If you have seen me address the question you want to ask elsewhere on a YouTube video, if you've been to another panel of mine, I can't understand why you would be at this one. Why? You're just here to fact check me, I suppose. No, that's not what you said in 2009. It's not good. Oh, crap. If you've seen me answer the question or address the issue that you want to ask or talk about, please think of another question or think of a new spin on it. I like to be creative. I like to be given new stuff to riff on. So, the general questions such as like, how did you become a voice actor? That's pretty well known by now. So I kind of feel like that story is old. But if you don't know it, go ahead and ask it, whatever, luck of the draw. Also, though, a very popular question I know that people ask me is, what's your favorite thing about this? What's your favorite thing about writing? What's your favorite thing about acting? What's your favorite thing about being in this convention? I, in my grumpy old age, have decided I don't like to play the favorites game. It's hard. So first of all, like the most common question I get asked is, what's your favorite character? Who's your favorite character? Right now, everyone's like, please mine, please be mine, please be mine. I can't answer that question anymore because I'm psychotic. So, as an actor, all the characters I've played, right down to like Soldier A, who likes his freeze and then gets shot and dies. Those characters, become kind of a permanent feature of my very chaotic psyche. And they're all kind of on free rotation up there. It's like a family at Thanksgiving dinner where we're all kind of busting each other's chops over the table, So if I would just give you, an answer just because I want to answer your question, I'd be like, this character. I would be in my hotel room later tonight and there would be 18 other characters in my head going, you're a bastard. Don't do that to me, please. So favorites questions, I just find that they're the hardest to answer. So I like to steer clear of those if we can. Other than that, just about everything is open. Also, this is not the time for me to take your phone and call your mother's sister's best friend's sister's former roommate's hairdresser and marry them in Sebastian's voice. Nothing halts a panel like me being on the phone with someone. We're like, oh, give me just a second. Hang on, I think it's going to voicemail. So let's not do that. Those are more free range things. Like if you're lucky enough to catch me wandering around the con, and you will if you're clever and quick on your feet. Then you'd be like, phone, call my friend. But here, no. Please, here, no. And I know it's early, you want to remain seated, so don't come running up here for hugs. I'll run away. It's not that I don't want your hugs, I'm just afraid of breaking this early in the morning if someone touches me. I haven't had enough coffee. I can't even open this water bottle, excuse me. This is pathetic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think that just about covers everything. And I have my water open now, so let's begin, shall we? Who's got a good question? You with the pink and like you've got the thing. Oh yes, you just were like, yep, that's me.
Right. So I know you play Sonia Block in Borderlands, and that's a crazy story. Where is this happening? What about the behind the scenes though? What's the craziest thing that's happened when you've done voice acting?
The craziest thing that's happened behind the scenes when I do voice acting? Ooh, I have to think about that one because we're all so crazy. The bar is high. It's kind of, most of my career has been in anime dubs, as you all know. And when we're dubbing, we actually don't have the opportunity to work together very often. We have to work solo. So for example, if say Todd Habercorn and I are together in a particular scene, we're not recorded together. I may be the first one recorded, and then he may come in a day, a week, a month later to record with what's already been laid down. So we don't often, I mean, most of us voice actors don't get to even meet or see each other until we come to conventions. It's like, oh my God, you were great in that show we did together. It's really weird sometimes, right? But if we've come to know the other actors that we know are in the show, whether they're recorded or whether we've heard their performance yet or not, if you're lucky enough to be the first person to record a back and forth between yourself and another character, and you know that when, say, Todd or whoever comes in to record the other character, they're going to hear you in what's called their pre-roll, meaning that they've got the cans on and they're going to hear what I recorded a week or a day or a month ago, leading into their cue. Then you can leave what we like to call bombs. We're all very professional, and so we pride ourselves on, for the most part, not messing up, because we have to work really fast. We mess up, we do it all the time, but we try to, you just try to, get back in the saddle as quickly as possible and go right on. But man, we love to mess each other up. We love to do that. We love to leave bombs. So that say, and the one there's been many, most of which are not family friendly. They're all lewd as hell. Really lewd as hell. We just love to say horrible things to each other. So we like, beep, you hear cue beeps before you're supposed to come in. And so it's 3 beeps followed by an imaginary 4th, and that's the rhythm you're supposed to follow knowing to come in for your cue. But over that is also whatever's being said right before your character comes in. So Todd may or may not have come in to record an episode of Italia in which France was telling Mr. Italy about the bells and the bees. Now, in the version that's been released, when he's talking about it, the entire monologue is beeped out. It's when two people love each other, beep! Well, I actually said stuff. A lot of stuff, just filled it. There was wonderful stuff in the script that we knew would never get used. We're like, just to fill in the space, so there's actually something to beep because it'll just make it sound so horrible. And we're not going to beep it for Todd. Todd's not going to hear the beep. That's going to be in post-production. So I'm like, so I recorded a good 2 or 3 days before Todd came in to do the same scene, and I walked out there feeling very satisfied. And a few days later, I was there working on something else. Todd was in the booth for Italia, recording just that scene, and he was walking out of the booth just as I was walking down the hallway to my studio. He's like, hey, Tatum, what's going on? I'm like, did I get you? He's like, you did. Yes! 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 Everything I said, by the way, is still on the table if you ever change your mind. So, bye, have a good session. Right, so that kind of stuff happens all the time. I want to also note how graciously I actually fell on that step just now and made it work. And this brings to mind a very important piece of wisdom I'd like to share with all of you. Probably the most important thing I have to contribute to humanity, that is, if you want to fall in public and avoid being laughed at by strangers, the trick to that is to just stay down. Think about it. If you fall down and get right back up, everyone's like, ha, dumbass. If you fall and just stay and don't move at all, everyone's like, ha, oh god. And by the time you get up and you tell them, no, I'm good, their steam is gone, they won't laugh at you. I've learned that many times. Many times. If you fall, stay down. Stay down. They're like, are you okay? I don't know. And later, you know, when they'll be so glad that you're not going to sue them that they'll be willing to forget the whole incident. Thank you for starting it off. Who's got another question?